Hello, and welcome to Decorating Distractions with Susan from Color Envy Design, where I'll be bringing you tips, tricks, and techniques to help you love your home a whole lot more while you're staying home a whole lot more. Today, I thought we'd talk about accent walls and combining crisp and creamy tiles together. I'm coming to you from an on-site location from a project I just finished with an amazing family who did an entire first floor renovation and hired me for all over color selection. So when I came here, they had already chosen the most amazing tiles and beautiful countertops and cabinetry, and they did all their fixed finishes and they did an amazing job. And generally, you hear me say that I generally work from the kitchen out. So let's take a look at their gorgeous backsplash tile. And this would be where I get inspiration from. I would measure this with data. And as you can see, there's a lot of different beautiful teals. We could have gone in a lot of different directions. There's a lot of wiggle room in this backsplash. And so generally, that's how I would start. However, if we go into the bathroom, it's a little bit of a different situation. They chose a singular color tile, and I'll show you that right here. This gorgeous, watery, bluish, tealish color. So it's easier to color match that singular tile and get the data from that, and then use those color families and get a color that seamlessly transitions into the tiles in the kitchen. Then do it from the kitchen and hope that by the time we get to the bathroom, it matches the bathroom tile. So for this project, I worked from the bathroom out. So what I did was I used data, got the color family of that tile, and since they had mentioned they wanted their connecting office space here, right next to the bathroom, to be a little bit darker, I used data and I darkened the color. I didn't just go down the chip, okay? That doesn't always work. That's a little bit of a misconception. I used data, I manipulated some of the data, and I got a darker color and stayed within the same color family. And then I manipulated the data again and went a little bit lighter with their all over color. So as you can see, the transition now from the bathroom tile, okay, to the office color, which is a little darker, to the all over color, which is a little bit lighter, transitions beautifully over here to their kitchen backsplash. Okay, so that's the strategy that we used for picking the all over color and the office color. And we stayed within the same color family, and it transitions seamlessly from the bathroom to the office, to the all over color, to the kitchen backsplash tile. Now, let's also talk about the accent wall and also the creamy versus the crisp tile, countertops and their cabinetry. So the fact that this client wanted an accent wall made me so happy, because even though it's an open space, they really didn't want the same color throughout the whole space. They thought that'd be boring. And I love that. I love a good accent wall. Done properly, accent walls can be amazing. And if they're done incorrectly, they could be not so amazing. So after some collaboration and discussion, we thought that the best place for an accent wall would be this little small stairway wall here. And we chose a tan. And I'll explain that in a second, how we chose that color. Okay, so this is a really nice focal point. This can be eventually maybe a gallery wall, or maybe they'll put like a little seating area there with a bar and some stools, because that's like the connecting space between the kitchen and the family room, where they'll be watching TV and sitting in front of the fireplace. So that just worked out beautifully. The reason why we suggested and chose tan is because upstairs they have some creamy tile in their bathroom up there. So again, here we have our crisp cabinetry and countertops. And then upstairs in the bathroom up there, we have our creamy tiles. So we wanted to transition seamlessly and bring in some warmth. So not only did we use this tan color on our accent wall, but I had suggested, and they went with me, to use a lighter version of it on the upstairs wall, which actually creates this seamless transition between the crisp cabinetry here on the first floor, and then as you transition upstairs to the creamy tile that they have in that bathroom, it works beautifully. And there's no awkward color transitions, because I hate awkward color transitions. So that just really worked well. And if you notice, when we go back into the bathroom, we used another lighter version. And again, same family of color, just a little bit different than the darker one on the accent wall. We used that tan here in this bathroom. And so it looks beautiful against that teal tile. This is the color story that they wanted. They wanted tans and browns and creams. And we mixed it all together beautifully with their crisp kitchen and then their warm tiles upstairs. And she is in the process of picking her decorative items here, and look what she chose. Okay, something that ties everything together. And that's the strategy of how I came to all these colors. How do we pick the accent wall? How do we pick the overall color? Where do we put the accent wall? And where do we repeat the accent wall color so that the entire space feels cohesive, even as we walk upstairs and get to that bathroom with this creamy tile, even though we have crisp cabinetry here in the kitchen. The other thing I want to talk about is whites, because that's so super important. When they ordered these cabinets, they came in and they are this most beautiful pearlized crisp white, and that's amazing. But I also needed to work with them on getting the white for the trim in the doorways. If you don't get the white for the trim in the doorways correct, it'll make their cabinetry look like it's glowing, and it'll make the trim in the doorway white look like it's dingy. So again, using data, and I can show you right here, I was able to make sure that we replicated this white and its sheen, because that's super important, sheen is important, with the rest of the trim that needed to be painted by the painters. So that again is seamless, because as we look around, there's a lot of doorways here. Okay, so there's a door, we've got the front door here, we've got a lot of windows, there's a lot of white and trim. They have baseboard molding needed to be painted. If those whites are off, it throws off the whole look of everything. And again, we use data, we got it right, and it looks amazing, and it is seamless. So that's the strategy of how we got all the colors right, how we did the accent wall, and how I got the whites to match. If you have any questions about how we worked on this project or how I can help you work with your project, if you're facing some of the similar challenges, I'd be delighted if you reached out at 631-629-5577. You can text me. You can also email me at susan@colorenvydesign.com. You're also invited to check out my website for more tips and inspiration at colorenvydesign.com. All the clients that work with me start with a complimentary discovery call for 30 minutes where we can do it on Zoom or over the phone and chat all about your project so we can learn all the different ways that we can work together. I also offer 100% remote decorating services too, for those of you who are more comfortable working from a distance and designing from a distance. So we do it over Zoom, and that's a service that I offer, and it's really well received because some people are just COVID sensitive and they don't want people in their house, and that's fine. We can work that way too. I'd like to thank you for taking the time and the journey with me as I showed you all the strategies of how we got to the beautiful result we got to with this client. I'd like to thank my clients for letting me come and shoot while they're in the middle of their overhaul of their house here. And again, thank you for taking this journey with me and watching it. So I thank you, and I'm wishing you all the greatest success from my project to your project. Take care and be well, my friends.